evening. So welcome to our Monday evening practice. If you're watching this back on demand, welcome. Make sure that you've got enough space to practice this evening. So you just need a mat, a yoga mat. If you haven't got one, don't worry. Just be mindful that you've got not got a slippery surface for your hands or feet. So really just the mat's helping, just providing a little bit of extra grip for you. Yeah, we'll get started shortly. So tonight's going to be a flow class, and that just all that means is we'll be connecting some of our postures together, so they'll be flowing one into the other. We'll be using our breath, focusing a lot on breathing. Welcome, guys. Just seeing you all dialing. I feel like I need my glasses on. Yeah, so if you've got any injuries, if it's your first time practicing, if there's anything going on in your body today, just acknowledge that. If you need to sit out any poses, if something doesn't feel quite right, if you've got any niggles, don't push it. It's not about kind of going to our edge, going really hard. It's just about moving within what feels good for your body, and only you know that, and I can't see you, so we'll all just take responsibility for keeping ourselves safe this evening. We'll get started in just a moment. A few more of you joining, welcome. So if you lose your way at any point in class, don't worry. It can be a little bit disorientating, the dialogue sometimes when you're new to class, or even if you're a seasoned practitioner, maybe just having one of those days. Try to listen to what I'm saying. I'm guiding you, moving in a way that feels good, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy class. We'll get started. If you do have a couple of cushions or pillows or blankets maybe to hand, something that you could perhaps roll up and prop under your knees, it might come in handy for our first pose. If you don't worry, I'll give you a modification. So there's always different versions you can do, so yeah, listen out for those. Okay, so guys, let's get started. We'll come to our mats. We're going to start lying down on our backs, coming into bound and angle pose, Baddha Konasana. So if you have got your cushions to hand, maybe grabbing them now. If not, don't worry, I'll show you a modification. So coming down to lie flat on your back. We'll start off with our legs stretched out, so everybody's reaching your legs out the length, the width of the mat, releasing your hands down the side of your body, and just really having a sense of your physical form, your physical body arriving here on the mats. Maybe your heart's racing, maybe you're still just shuffling a few things around your room, trying to get settled. So giving yourself a few minutes here just to find some stillness, just stillness in the body. That can be hard, maybe fidgeting, fussing, doing what you need to do just to come to complete stillness of the body. So don't worry about anything else just now, trying to find stillness. From the head all the way down to your toes. And taking a nice big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, sighing it out through the mouth, breathing it out, letting it go. Letting it go, let everything go, the good, the bad, everything in between. And maybe doing that one more time, inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale, sighing it out through the mouth. Breathing it all out. So if this is feeling pretty good for you right now, then you can keep your legs stretched out where they are. Otherwise, an option, you can bend your knees, walk your feet in towards your bottom, and bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees fall away. If you're not very open in the hips,
Your knees aren't going to come down very close to the floor, so that's where the cushion comes in, just propping it underneath the leg and just letting the knees fall away. So this can be quite intense in the groin, the inner thigh. If you can stick with it, do. If it's causing you any pain, legs out straight. Soles of the feet together, finding stillness, that stillness of the body again. Now starting to create some space in the physical form. Bringing your right hand to rest on your belly and your left hand to rest in your heart center. Start to notice the hands move with the breath. Maybe it's just the belly that's moving, maybe the chest, maybe you can't feel anything in your hands just yet. That's okay, just observe where you can feel the air moving in and the air moving out. Just trying to stay still here, avoiding the temptation to move, focusing on your breath, breathing in, breathing out. Eyes are closed, just letting everything drop inwards, leaving your day behind you, maybe what did or didn't happen, and just seeing if you can be present here in this moment. So, finding a little bit of mindfulness before our practice, just helping to get us focused as we start to move. Yoga is really a moving form of meditation, and we've got to realise that the mindfulness, the meditation isn't about clearing the mind, it's not about finding that state of zen and just being completely blissful. I mean, amazing if you've got that, lucky you. But for most of us, our brain is just whirring around, and it's not about stopping those thoughts, it's about observing them. So as you're lying here now, noticing what thoughts are coming up for you. How do you feel? What is it that just keeps coming back? And just see if you can, without judgment, without any expectations of outcomes, just observe it. And as you exhale, feel that thought, that thing that keeps popping into your mind, just melting further and further away into the distance. You can imagine it's a cloud in the breeze, just slowly floating by. Letting everything settle here. And starting to take a few more deeper breaths now. Deepening the inhale, deepening the exhale. Breathing in, breathing out through the nose. So finding our yogic breath, inhales matching exhales. And then starting to think about an intention for your practice maybe. Perhaps it's to stay with the breath. That's a challenging part of our practice to maintain. It's easy to slip out of that pattern. Maybe you're going to your intention is to stick with that tonight, come back to that. Or perhaps there's something else you're working on, something that you'd like to start here on your mat and take off out into your daily life. Gratitude, kindness to yourself, to others. Whatever it may be now, just think about that thing to yourself, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Breathing it in, breathing it out. So if you have the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, just bring the hands to the outside of the thighs and help the knees in together. You should feel a nice release down the inner thigh and into the groin, just removing any props out of the way. Hands come behind the head, fingers rest in the nape of the neck. Gently lower the knees down to the right hand side, gazing up to the ceiling or up and over the left shoulder. Eyes can stay closed. And see if you can draw the knees more in towards the belly button. Just deepening the twist, making sure it's a twist of the mid-spine. Both shoulders are down. Feel your belly rise and fall. Coming back to the breath. Slowly moving the knees and gaze through center. Knees drop down to the left, gazing up to the ceiling or up and over the right shoulder. And see as we move through our practice today, if we can go slowly, super slowly in and out of the poses, bringing mindfulness into our movement. Noticing how it feels on the way in, on the way out, and using our breath. Using the breath to soften into the pose, to fuel it, to go a little bit deeper. And also as an anchor for the mind. Knees through center, gaze through center. Draw the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around your legs, give yourself a squeeze. Push the tailbone down to the floor, so watch the bottoms not lifting off the mat. Push the tailbone down, flex through your toes, squeeze the knees in. Maybe gently rocking from side to side now. You can loosen the grip for this, just massaging into the lower back. And kicking the feet up towards the ceiling. So knees stay bent, feet are flexed. It looks like you're trying to stamp on the ceiling. Start to separate the legs and draw the knees down in towards your armpits. So happy baby pose. This should feel quite nice after bound angle, just releasing off into the groin. You can hold behind the thighs, the calves, the ankles. Maybe you can reach the outside edge of the feet or hook your two-piece fingers around your toe. Wherever you've got a grip, see if you can pull and draw the knees down. Bottom stays pushed down. Breathing into it. If you've been sat down all day, this should feel pretty nice right now. And change, gently helping the knees back in together one more time, squeeze them in. So eyes can flicker open now if they're closed, taking hold of the thighs from behind. You can either roll over to the side and push yourself up to seated, or rock and roll 3 times, massaging the full length of the spine, all the way up to seated. So all meeting here, hovering on our sit bones, toes an inch off the mat, knees squeezed together, holding onto your thighs, working into boat pose, Navasana. Toes draw up in line with your knees now. Squeeze the knees together. Let's start to fire up our core, our belly muscles. Lift your shoulders. You can stay holding your thighs or release your hands so you're a boat with oars. Chest is lifted, gaze is forward, belly's in. Holding it here, breathing, feeling this in your belly. If you can't feel it in your belly, if it's more in your hip flexors, then see what happens if you slowly start to let your boat sink a little bit. Maybe now belly's wobbling, maybe your whole body wobbling, shaking, working hard for 3, 2, 1, and change. Feet come down, arms around your legs. Relax your belly, breathe into the back of the body. You can tuck chin to chest, maybe forehead comes down to meet your knees. Relaxing here, relax the belly, relax into the back of the body, coming back to your breath. Lifting the gaze. Cross over your ankles, roll over onto your knees, finding an all fours position. So however you get here, guys, doesn't really matter. Coming into the middle of your mat, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tops of the feet flat to the floor. Lightly draw the belly in, gaze towards the top of the mat. So make sure your lower back isn't dipping, you're nice and tight in the core, so belly's drawing in. Creases of the elbows facing each other. Now as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. And as you exhale, push the mat away, touch into chest, navel to spine, rounding through the back. Cat-cow. Move again, inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the chest, looking up. Exhaling, push the hands down, push the shins, tops of the feet down, rounding through the spine. So we're going to do a few more rounds of these now. You can start to move with your own breath. Really using this pose, great pose for getting used to connecting the breath and movement together. We're building this mind-body connection. Noticing how things feel in our body as we move and breathe. So do one more round, lowering the belly, lifting the chest, shoulders move away from the ears. And then rounding through the spine. Coming back to a neutral spine. Look down towards the top of the mat. We're going to step our right foot to the outside of the right hand. Give it help if you need to. Coming into a lizard lunge. Now this may be enough for you. If you've got any issues with your knees, you can pad something under your left knee or maybe fold your mat over. So you can stay here if this is enough for you and really just tuning in. If it is, stay exactly where you are. Otherwise you can start to slide the left leg back behind you. So now we've got a sense of the hips sinking down to the floor, really getting a deep stretch down the front of the left thigh into the quad. And wherever you are, as you inhale, start to sweep your right hand forward. Reaching the right hand forward, sweeping it up and over, reaching it up towards 12 o'clock. And then slowly bringing it back behind you and doing a nice big circle forward. So we're going to do this 2 more times. You can move with your own breath. So really getting into our shoulders now, circling the arm, the right arm sweeps forward, then up and over. Left hand's rooted firmly down. And when you've done this 3 times, the right hand can stay where it is, reaching up towards 12 o'clock, or come down onto the right knee, or the right thigh, sorry, and just gently ease the right leg away. So opening up through the hips now. Staying high on the left hand or coming down onto the forearm. Maybe rolling over onto the knife edge, the baby toe side of the right foot. Deep, deep hip stretch, hip opening pose here, lizard pose. Breathe in, breathe out. And slowly bringing your hands down to the mat in front of you. Sliding your left knee back in. Giving it a little help if you need to. Right leg comes back behind you. Find your all fours. Taking a little rebound here, just noticing how one side feels to the other. And again, just letting go of the expectation that it'll feel different or better or worse. Just notice how it feels. Stepping the left foot forward to the outside of the left wrist. So we're going to just do that on the other side. One side can feel different to the other, so just noticing how it feels on this side, on the left side. Staying where you are or starting to slide the right leg back behind you, letting the hips sink down to the floor. This might be enough for you, it might be a juicy stretch. If it is, please stay where you are, no obligation to go further. If you're ready for a little bit more though, right hand plants down, left hand sweeps forward. Sweeps forward, up and over, all the way back. So we're going to do 3 nice big circles. See if you can go as slow on this side as you did on the other. Sometimes it can be so hard to go slow. But let go now, just let it all go. Focus on breathing, and the movement just comes second. Breathing in, breathing out. Reaching the left hand up towards 12 o'clock. Maybe it stays where it is, or perhaps it's coming down onto the left thigh. You're easing the leg over and out to the side, opening up through the hip. Staying where you are or coming down onto the forearm. Wherever you are, starting to notice if, when your body's challenged, if there's any areas of tightness, if you're tensing somewhere else. So maybe you're clenching your fist or your jaw. If you are, see if you can relax and let it go. As you exhale, releasing all the tension in your body. Inhale, exhale. hands down onto the floor, helping your right knee in. So just coming out this pose slowly. It's a deep, deep stretch into our hips, our groin. Left leg comes back behind you, finding your all fours. Hands walk forward now, fingers spread nice and wide. Push down through the four corners of your palms. Curl your toes. Hover your knees an inch off the mat. Hold it here. Hold it. And then as you inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling and push the belly back towards your thighs. So our first downward facing dog. Walk it out here, so swaying through the hips. It's a really nice way just to get into the pose. This can be quite tight in the back of the body, legs, the back, the neck. So just pedaling through the feet. And then seeing if you can come still here. So feet should be about hip distance apart. It's only a 2 fist width gap. If your heels don't come down to the floor, mine aren't touching the floor tonight. So softening through the knees can really help focus on lengthening the spine. So it's the spine that should be long, head is heavy. Maybe then seeing if the heels will come down just a little bit more. Stretching through the back of the legs. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. Gazing forwards towards your hands. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Coming all the way to the top of the mat. And stand with your feet so they're hip distance apart. Nice big bend in your knees, belly on thighs. Just let the upper body hang over the lower. Let everything go. And take hold of opposite elbows, framing your face. And gently shake your head. Yes, no a few times. Keeping your head still. Swaying softly, right to left, left to right. Releasing your hands down to the floor, tucking chin to chest and slowly starting to uncurl. Rounding up, rolling up, one vertebrae at a time, chin lifts last. Arms sweep up overhead, reaching up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through center, hands in prayer. Just resting the thumbs in the middle of the chest, bringing your big toes to touch. Let your eyes close here. Coming back to your intention. Calming the breath down. In through the nose, out through the nose. Let your eyes open, release your hands down the side of your body. Gaze is forward. Inhaling, reach your arms up overhead, stretching up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through center, hands in prayer, hinging from the hips, forward folding. Bend your knees on the way down, belly on thighs, forehead in to meet the shins. Release the hands either side of your feet. Now slide the hands to your shins as you gaze forward. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Draw chin to chest. Let your arms hang heavy and slowly ragdoll all the way back up to standing. Releasing tension in the spine, the neck. Chin lifts last. Arms sweep up overhead. Hands in prayer, release them down through center. Really nice, guys. And again, inhaling, sweeping the arms out nice and wide. Starting to build a dance now between breath and movement. Exhaling, hinging forward. Bend your knees. Belly on thighs, forehead in to meet the shins. Inhale, lengthen, gaze forward. Hands can come to the shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Let your arms and head hang heavy, draw chin to chest, and slowly start to ragdoll, slower than you like, all the way up to standing. Chin lifts last, arms sweep up overhead, palms touch. Exhaling, hands through center, hands in prayer. Let's do that one more time, guys. Nice big breath in. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinging forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, gaze forward, flat back.
Exhale, fold.
Planting your hands down this time, step back with your right foot, then your left foot coming into a nice strong plank pose. Curl your toes, push out through your heels. So making sure you're strong, you're solid here, gazing down towards the top of the mat. Belly's in. Don't let the bit in between your shoulder blades dip, so really dome the upper back. Holding it here. Dropping down to your knees, uncurl your toes. Rocking the body weight forward, elbows hug in, slowly lowering all the way down to the floor. Squeeze your elbows in. Fingertips are underneath your shoulders, tops of the feet push down. Start to draw your head forward, peeling your chest up off the floor. So you can stay here in baby cobra, maybe your hands hover an inch off the mat. Or if you'd like a little bit more, hands could come down, and only if you're healthy in the spine, start to push the hands down and lift the chest. Cobra pose. Breathing in, breathing out. And on the exhale, slowly lowering your heart all the way down to the floor. Pushing the hands down, push back through your knees, curl your toes, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Gazing forward, gaze towards the top of the mat. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Hands slide to the shins as you gaze forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. Arms and head hang heavy. Tuck chin to chest and slowly ragdoll, rounding all the way back up. Chin lifts last, sweeping your arms back up overhead. Hands through center, hands in prayer. Find your breath, come back to that. Breathing in, breathing out. Thumbs rest in the middle of the chest. Inhale, arms up overhead, sweep them out wide. Stretching up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through center, hinging forward, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen, gaze forward, flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back with your left foot this time. Right foot follows, plank pose. So guys, if you know a different transition through our little vinyasa that we're doing now, then please take that. If that doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry. Just follow me, drop down to your knees. Rock the body weight forward, lower all the way down to the floor. So doing our options now, baby cobra or cobra. Taking your choice. Relaxing the shoulders down away from your ears. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, push back through your knees. Exhale, curl the toes, hips up high, downward facing dog. Inhale for one. Exhale for one. Inhale for two. Exhale. One more breath. Inhaling. Exhale. Lovely. Right, let's go. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Point your toes. Try and keep your right hip squared down to the get my words out. Your right hip squared to the mat. So you don't want to be opening up through the hips. The right hip should be squared. Point your toes. As you inhale, start to rock the body weight forward. See if you can draw the knee in to meet your nose. You're really doming, rounding through your back. And step the right foot in between your hands, giving it help if you need to. Helping it all the way to the top of the mat. Dropping the back foot down 45 degrees. Windmill your arms up, left hand followed by right. Coming into warrior two. So if you've got lost, it doesn't matter, joining in here. Warrior two, heels are in line with each other's, arms reaching out in opposite directions. Make sure your front leg, your right knee stays bent, so sinking down. Inhale, lift your right arm up, left arm comes down, reversing our warrior. Gazing down towards the left toes or up towards your right hand. Inhale, hands move through center. Exhale, right elbow, right knee. Left arm up and over by your ear, palm faces down, side angle. Inhale, arms through center. I'm going to do that sequence again, guys. Right arm up, left arm down. You've got this, keep your right knee bent. Inhale through center. Right elbow, right knee, left arm up and over by your ears, side angle. Moving back through center. One more time. Inhale, right arm up, left arm down. Moving through center, arms reaching opposite directions, right elbow, right knee, left arm up and over by your ear. Lovely, guys. Coming back through center, one more breath. Inhale. Exhaling, hands windmill down, right hand followed by the left. Draw your belly in, step your right foot back behind you, finding downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale breath, lift the left leg up, point your toes and square your hip down to the floor. So it probably means your leg won't lift quite so high. That's okay, squaring the hip down. Now start to rock the body weight forward, draw knee to nose, really rounding, doming through the back. Gaze in between your hand and step your left foot forward. Give it help if you need to. Back foot comes down 45 degrees, arms windmill up. Right hand followed by your left. Here we are, warrior two, other leg. Bend down so your left knee's over your left ankle, arms reach in opposite directions. So strong pose here in the legs, the hips. Inhale, reach the left arm up, the right arm comes down. Moving through center. Bringing left elbow, left knee, right arm up and over. So always doing on one side what we do on the other. Inhale through center. Left arm lifts, right arm comes down. So it's just the arms that are moving here, the upper body. Hands through center, legs stay where they are. Left elbow, left knee, right arm up and over by your ear. Hands move through center. One more time. Come on, guys, you've got this. Left arm reaches up, right arm reaches down. Keep your left knee bent, hands through center. Left elbow now, left knee, right arm by your ear. Palm faces down, side angle, breathing in. Exhale, hands through center. Hold it, you've got this. Windmill your arms down now, left hand followed by right. Spinning on your back toes, draw the belly in, step the left leg back behind you. Downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Nice big sigh. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Dropping down to your knees. Take your knees nice and wide. Big toes touch, but don't cross. Hips come back to your heels, arms stretch forward, forehead comes down, finding child's pose. If your forehead doesn't find the floor, or if it's more comfortable, you can just stack one fist on top of the other, bringing the floor up to you, making a little pillow. Relax the belly here. So when we're moving in and out of our yoga poses, we're trying to find strength from our core, so quite often sucking and drawing the belly in, navel to spine, but here, let it all go. Let everything go. Let your eyes close. Let everything soften. Just noticing the subtle or not so subtle changes in the body. Coming back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale breath, matching exhale breath. Next, inhale draws you up into an all fours position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. I'm going to slide the right knee now to the outside of the right wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose. If you know where you're going, make your way there. If not, I'll talk you through it. So your right foot is resting
resting now in your left hip crease. Your left leg goes straight back behind you. If you have any issues with your knees, I'll show you a modification, but I'll just get everyone in pigeon first. So you can stay here up on your hands, or maybe you start to come down onto the forearms, and the forehead can come all the way down to the floor. Arms reach out in front of you if that feels nice. So really getting into the outer hip now. We've worked a lot in the inner hip, the groin. This is targeting the glute, the IT band, the bit that runs in between your knee, your thigh, your hip. And if this doesn't feel good, if you can't feel anything here, modification is to come onto your back, to have the right foot resting onto the left knee, and just interlacing fingers behind the left thigh and drawing it in towards the chest, using the right elbow to push the right knee away, flexing through your toes here. So just doing a thread the needle, feeling free to take that as a modification. Always when you do your yoga practice, that's what they're there for. Wherever you are, just perhaps letting the eyes close. And really feeling into what's going on in your body, the sensations, and seeing if you can just, as you exhale, go a little bit deeper. If you're down on your forearms, your forehead's down, coming back up onto the soles, the palms of the hands, opening up through your chest. Breathing here, proud pigeon. Sliding your left knee in a little bit, sending the right leg back behind you, finding your all fours. Push down through the palms, curl the toes, lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. So you can walk it out here, sway through the hips. Get the blood flowing into the joints, into the right leg. Do a few little wiggles, whatever feels good for you. And then we'll drop down to the knees and go in on the other side. If you took a modification, then feel free to do that on this side. Otherwise, left knee comes to the outside of the left wrist. Your foot's coming diagonally across the mat, about 45 degrees. So your left foot is resting into your right hip crease. No pain in the knees or feet here or ankles whatsoever. If it is, take the modification. Staying on your hands here or coming down onto your forearms. Maybe the forehead comes down. And in pigeon pose, we want to really see if we can release and let go all of the tension in our body. So no squeezing or tensing muscles. When we're moving through, especially some of the standing poses, we want to activate and engage our muscles. So when we're in warrior, really hugging, squeezing the muscles to the bone. Here it's about releasing and letting go. Softening as you exhale. Just observing, coming back to the mind. Where's it going? How is it trying to distract you? Can you draw it back? Can you bring it back to the breath? Time and time again. No matter how much we practice yoga, we'll always need to keep coming back to the breath. Keep our attention there, not let ourselves be distracted. Couple more breaths here. You're doing so well. Breathing in, breathing out. In and out through the nose. And coming up onto your hands if you're down on the floor. Opening up through the chest here, proud pigeon. Helping your right knee in a little bit, sending your left knee back behind you so you're in your all fours. Push down through your palms, curl your toes, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. Walking it out, doing whatever you need to do, maybe sighing it out through the mouth, letting it go. Shake the head, yes, no, a few times. And then when you're ready, dropping back down to your knees, so you can cross your ankles behind you, roll over onto your sit bones, finding a seated position. Have the soles of the feet down to the floor. Make make sure you've got enough space to lie down behind you. Arms reach out, touch into chest. And you, using your core, your belly muscles, your strength here, slowly start to lower yourself all the way down to the floor. The lower back, the mid back, the upper back, until eventually everything's down on the floor. Legs can stretch out the width of the mat. Release the hands down the side of your body. Nice big exhale out through the mouth. Letting your eyes close. Let your body soften here. So guys, I'm going to sit up for the last little bit of class. You stay laying down, eyes closed, legs stretched out, arms down the side of your body. If this is uncomfortable in your lower back, you can bend your knees and just let the knees knock in together. Bring the soles of the feet together like we did at the beginning of class, using your props underneath the knees. And when we come into this last little bit of class of asana, you're welcome to put on jumpers or cover yourself in blankets. Not as long here as we'd have normally in a class if we were together. But no matter how long or short this part of class is, really just letting yourself drop into the stillness, the space, the physical space, the mental space you've created. And even though you're letting the controlled breath now just fade away, just letting it fade away, still as you exhale, you have a sense of releasing, letting go, sinking down into the floor. Softening the face, relaxing any furrowing of the brow or clenching of the teeth. Lightly part the lips, maybe just licking them slightly, and just letting the whole face feel soft and relaxed. Releasing the shoulders down away from your ears, arms are heavy. Fingertips lightly curling in. And your whole back of the body is just sinking down, pressing down into the floor. Releasing tension in the hips. Releasing the muscles, the thighs, the calves. Exhale, just breathing out, letting go. Relaxing the whole body all the way down to the toes. This is such an important part of our practice. Here that you just give your body and mind chance for everything we've just done in the last 45 minutes to sink into the muscle memory of your body and your brain. So when you go off the mat into your daily lives, you'll take a little bit of this magic with you. All that is left to do now is to relax. welcome to stay here enjoying this relaxation for as long as you like. It is time to move for you then, just slowly, gently bringing awareness back into the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. And just rolling through one side, coming up to a seated position. So have your legs crossed, and if it doesn't feel comfortable to cross your legs, you can stretch them out in front of you. Eyes stay closed. Resting the palms down on the knees or the lap. So it's grounding. Just rooting down into our seat, our sit bones. Shoulders relax, belly's relaxed. Taking a few moments here to come back to your intention for practice. Whatever that was, whether it was to stay with the breath, just congratulating yourself for trying. You did great. And as you inhale now, bringing your arms out wide, reaching them up overhead, scooping everything up, reaching up, stretching up, palms touch. Exhale through the mouth, hands through center, drawing the hands down into the middle of the chest, moving slowly. Thumbs rest here, palm on palm. And just dropping your head down towards your heart. And with that, we honor our practice and each other and say namaste. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining me again. It's an absolute pleasure teaching you. I'm absolutely loving our Monday night practice. And if you're practicing at another time, thank you so much for watching back. Have a wonderful evening. Take it easy now. Thanks. Goodbye.